Video game movies over the last few decades have been, well, absolutely abysmal, bar a few here and there. But Sonic 2 and hell even Sonic 1 are two very special exceptions that were able to push the boundaries of video game adaptation. I'm not trying to say these movies are masterpieces, in fact they both have their own individual problems, but still manage to pull through and tell a good story while still respecting the source material. Two things the majority of video game movies fail to do because instead of trying to pander to fans of the games, they just present very surface level ideas that are made for a quick buck, which is definitely a path I can see the upcoming Illumination Mario movie going down, just basing it off of the fever dream shitpost level voice cast. We'll definitely make sure to review that movie when it releases, but for now, back to Sonic. The main area the sequel succeeds at is focusing more on Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, rather than the new human characters that were introduced in the previous movie. Which if you ask me, this particular topic is where actual fans of the franchise are very easy to pick out, compared to critics who played 5 minutes of the first game and called it a day. Which is also to say, if you think Sonic's friends getting more development of the human characters is a bad thing, then you're just straight up wrong. I don't make the rules. Alright, now we get into the good, the bad, and Knuckles. Idris Elbaz had the best Knuckles performance in a long time. Ben Schwartz and Jim Carrey continuing their usual thing as Sonic and Robotnik in the first movie. Very surprisingly, Colleen O'Shaughnessy reprising her role as Tails from the games, because the voice actors from games reprising their roles for the movie adaptations don't happen very often, if, well, rarely ever. Again, going back to the main focus of the movie, being on, the Sonic characters, is really great as obviously they have the most development of the human characters and are a lot more interesting. The main thing that caught me off guard, though, was the major change to the Echidna's lore and its continuity. With these Echidnas being wiped out by owls instead of Chaos Zero like in the game's continuity, which would also explain why Longclaw gets jumped by the Echidnas in the beginning of the previous movie. Also the fact that the Chaos Emeralds fused together to create the Master Emerald, which in itself is a cool concept, but really shows how different the direction the series will go compared to the games, which is very exciting. I think the worst part of the movie was definitely the Sonic and Tails dance scene in Siberia, which in itself seemed very forced, but seeing Sonic strike the SA-1 pose was very cool. It doesn't make up for the fact this trend of having random dance scenes in kids' movies just needs to die already. But the slight way they managed to fit in Uganda Knuckles reference though was pretty good to say the least. But the thing that brings up the most questions is the after credits scene, which was obviously insane to see Shadow emerge from the capsule in the gun base like the games and just builds up the hype for Sonic 3. Although with the director saying the movies won't be following the order the games go in, it probably means we could see Chaos in the next movie, or possibly in the Knuckles Paramount Plus show, since Shadow is based off of Chaos to some extent. The same goes for the Bio Lizard. But I'm probably overthinking all this and we could get a completely different backstory for Shadow, since I can't see them killing off Maria in the same way it happens in the games. But then again... Also, the fact that Jim Carrey is considering retiring will probably affect Shadow's relation to Robotnik and Maria, which might not work if that ends up happening. But they got to somehow fit in this iconic masterpiece of the scene.
Where's that damn fourth Chaos Emerald?
But going back to Jim Carrey possibly retiring, like it would be unfortunate to see him retire, but to be honest, he does deserve it, and the way Supersonic defeats him is fairly open-ended, so really they could just say he died or something when the Death Egg robot fell. Or yes, in the context of the movie, the Master Emerald mech, but that doesn't really have the same ring to it. Although the power of the Chaos Emeralds and Master Emeralds are insanely powerful in this universe, and it'll be fairly interesting to see how strong villains could become in the movie series, because from the way Sonic and Robotnik use them, they're already as strong, if not stronger than the Phantom Ruby, which now thinking about it, either Agent Sloan or Infinite could make good Robotnik replacements. But all in all, this movie being the highest grossing video game movie of all time isn't really surprising, considering how successful the first movie was, and as well as the hype just surrounding this movie's release. But I can definitely see the third movie topping this, since aside from Sonic, Shadow is probably one of the most popular characters in the franchise. But the movie ending with Sonic calling Tom Dad was really great. I definitely said it's in my top 3 favorite movies of the year, and, well, maybe just in my top 3 favorite movies of all time. Honestly, I mean, this movie is just an all-around great time, and I thoroughly can't wait to see what's next to serve the Sonic Cinematic Universe. But with all that said, see ya.